Hello and welcome to Outside for No Step Back. It's finally out. It released 18 minutes ago, and I've been working a little bit on getting it ready for recording, and here we are. We're going to be playing as Joseph Stalin and the Soviet Union, the main focus of this campaign, though I believe Poland and various other nations in the East have received some attention as well. We are going to be playing as Joseph Stalin, aka Joseph Jugashvili. Georgian man, not a Russian. Was studying to become a priest, then became a bank robber, and then became the head of the Communist Party because Lenin decided to make him be in charge of, setting up who gets put on the lists to get elected and all that. I think that was what he did as well. At least he was like a secretary, at least. Which afforded him a lot of power. There's a lot of new stuff that we have to learn, but I'm going to go through the standard opening, which seems to always work. Boosting our research, boosting our production efficiency, and our construction, which will snowball over time. We have some new stuff to play with, like, for example, we can build trains and stuff now, which is really cool. Any person who does not like trains is not a person I trust. And we might have to do so because the supply situation in the Far East is a disaster, but it is a disaster for the Japanese occupation force in Manchuria as well. Fun little piece of history, by the way. I don't know how well it's represented in the game. It might not be, and we may have to wait to see if they get the minister, but the guy who is in charge of the... I can't really see this guy's name, can I? No. What's that? Well, the guy who's in charge of the sort of economic development of Manchuria during this period is a bastard. He is a horrible, horrible person. In fact, Manchuria was made to be modeled after, or as like an ideal fascist state, which makes it more fascist than Japan was at this time. Because Japan, despite being headed by, an emperor and, nominally being headed by an emperor, and then having all these like military bureaucrats and all that, and this surge of fascism in this period, or a Japanese sort of fascism. Japan had also a lot of liberal traditions, and a lot of the people who backed this fascist project were often liberals because they liked the the economic dimensions of it. They were industrialists, right? Not necessarily people who were ideologically motivated. And then, as so often happens, these guys decide, oh shit, well, this was probably a bad idea. A little bit too late down the line. That guy who was in charge of the economic development of Manchuria, who wanted to model it after the ideal fascist state, instituted a bunch of slave labor and stuff like that, and then he became Japanese prime minister. Really cool. Anyways, we're gonna be... That was after the war that he became prime minister. We're gonna be building a bunch of civilian factories, because that's what you do in the beginning. Infrastructure still impacts... Sorry for the digression, that's how I roll. Dumb anecdotes that are poorly sourced is how I do. I know I shouldn't, but, this medium does not lend itself well to proper... proper treatment of sources, I don't think, because I would have to stop and read and edit, and I am not an editing Andy. We're gonna organize our... Actually, let's organize this later. Let's have a look at national foci, because there's a lot of new foci here. The first stuff we're gonna focus on, I think, is infrastructure and industry. We don't need to be focusing on the fleet because we are the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union mostly has to deal with this stuff. And the Germans are kind of in our situation as well. In fact, no, they are in a worse situation because one of the reasons the Germans should not focus on a fleet, at least not early game, or early in the war, is because they have a lack of access to oil, which is not an issue that we have. Because we've got this area. We've got the Baku oil fields, which have 98 oil on them. So if we wanted to, we could make a navy, but there really is no strategic, at least immediate, need for it, unless we are to go toe-to-toe with Japan, which probably is a late game concern. Now, in terms of, yeah, the path we're taking, I haven't decided on the political path. That's something that I'm going to leave up to you guys in the comments. I read every single comment, and kind of haven't really read the focus trees in detail yet. Oh, here we go. There's the Romanov Constitution. Okay, this is a sort of fascist path. Add Tsar Vladimir the First. Okay. And yeah, you've got, of course, the Trotskyist path and all that. This is Bukharin. But yeah, I'm willing to listen to like what I should be doing, or what you think I should be doing. I'll read all the comments and then I'll decide what to do based on whatever arguments you throw at me. First, we're gonna do industry. One of the few things or one of the many things I guess I'm really excited about in this new expansion is the Nkvd Divisions. They are support artillery. Yep, that's good. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Motorized, okay. Mountain, they are strong. We might have those in Manchuria, but they're kind of, they seem dense. 1690 infantry equipment. Yeah, they are pretty dense, so I don't know if I actually want to send them to Manchuria because of the supply situation. But there are a lot of mountains in Manchuria, and there's not a lot of mountains here. There are some mountains if we want to, you know, go to Czechoslovakia and Romania, but our main targets are Finland, fairly flat. Except for, like, this mountain, which we haven't even... Well, we tried to give Finland a mountain to give them... like, by we, I mean Norway. I'm, you know... I am Norwegian. We tried to give Finland a mountain to, well, to make sure they had one that was sufficiently tall. But that was shot down, because I think it's kind of hard to give someone territory. Like, no country wants to cede its own territory willingly. Oh yeah, I'm playing with NATO symbols on. If you don't like that, let me know and I can change that. We have some light tanks here. But yeah, tank designer I'm very excited about, was what I was trying to say earlier. I'm also very excited about the officer corps, and very excited about the changes to the logistics. These are not set to... No, they are. Wait, are they? No, they're not. These are not set to produce indefinitely. This is producing 12 of these submarines. So I'm going to set them like this, so that when it finishes, it's going to move all of our available dockyards onto the next one. Or, yeah, dockyards onto the next one, so that they all finish, and then we can get our continuous production going later on. Mountain troops, we're gonna probably send... I mean, they might be useful if we decide on an invasion of Norway, should Norway find themselves invaded by the Germans. Or the United Kingdom. There were plans for, by both sides to invade Norway. The Germans just got there first. We have two different things here. Oh, these are Nkvd divisions. They are kind of garbage. That's the best way of putting it. Why do we have these? Because this is no longer how military police works. Yeah, suppression 1.8, but the best way of doing suppression is using the new system. With intelligence and stuff. We should probably create an intelligence agency, honestly. And is this the Zemstva or whatever it's called? It's not the Nkvd, that's the military intelligence at this point. Zemstva... Oh no, Zemstva is it's a local government. My bad. What's the word for it? Let's see. Soviet intelligence agencies, World War II. The Cheka, that's it, not the Zemstva. The Cheka. And which one was the Cheka? The Cheka had which symbol? It is... none of these. The All-Russian Extraordinary Commission. You know what? Let's just grab that entire name, because I think that would be funny. Let's see if it works. Yes, it does. Okay, that's gonna be a mouthful if it shows up in events and stuff. Which one looks the best? This one looks the most like the Cheka emblem, I think. It's got the V shape. This one has a sort of shield, I guess. Does have the sword as well, which the checker symbol does. Yeah, this one might be the best one. Great agency. Okay. 3 military factories. We want to make sure that we have an abundance of 3 things at all times. That is artillery, support equipment, and infantry equipment. We have support artillery, so actually we need to have a lot of artillery. We have a lot of soldiers, so we need to have a lot of guns. Light tanks, I'm not too concerned about, because we're going to be making new tanks in the near future. Fighters are important, though. And these are Fighter 1, which is decent early on. It's not good, but Fighter 2 is what we want to rush for. I'm not a meta Andy either. Like, I don't really study the meta in order to break the game or beat the game. That kind of stuff. And you'll see my way of organizing things here. I don't think I'm going to be using these Nkvd divisions. I'm going to swap their template over towards actual... No, actually, let's keep them. It could be funny just for the sort of flavor of it all. But these guys are going to be placed in a singular army, which is going to be dealing with Finland up here. And then the Nkvd divisions, I think we can have them, which are more like Cheka divisions. The Cheka will have them just holding here, because if we have enough fortresses, which I don't know if we do have any fortresses here. We don't. But if we do have fortresses, we don't really need to have a lot of troops there, and we can use the troops to push in through here, which strategically is the worst way of invading Finland, but it means we don't have to fight across these rivers. The reason it's the worst way of invading Finland is that Finland's cities are all down here. And that means that all its victory points are down there, and all its industry is down there. So we've got Army 1, which is probably not even an army. Maybe. Let's see. This is like a... I've forgotten how I used to name things. Let's organize the army that's going to be dealing with Poland. There we go. This is going to be the first army. I believe the Soviets didn't really... Zhukov is an advisor. Wait, can you be I didn't know you could be an advisor as well as a general. Also, armor officer on him, I don't like that. I would much rather he be an infantry officer, but they seem to almost all be army officers. Interesting. I mean, he would be an amazing army officer, or sorry, armor officer, my bad. Let's put, Vatutin is horrible on the attack. Let's put you, Kirill Meretskov, you seem more balanced, and also he can be leveled up to level 4, where he can become an advisor, and we can put him in our officer corps. Place him on the Polish border. Also, where's my Katyusha? Because I'm meant to be listening right now to a song given to me by the pre-order bonus for this game, and it's such a good song. It's probably going to show up at some point. We can also unpause now, I think. Wait, no, we can't. We need to be training basic divisions. We're going to be training a lot of them. Let's start with 8. Let's see how that goes. Can you tell that I haven't played vanilla in a while? I mostly play Kaiserreich. There we go. Now, a lot of this stuff might get sort of merged into field marshal commanded armies. But for now, we're doing this. We're going to have one army against Romania. In fact, yeah, having mountain divisions in that army probably isn't that bad. We need to split everything into theaters, because it's already becoming a mess. this is the Western Theater. The first army is going to have kind of like standardized icons. And then we can use special icons for some special stuff. First army, of course, will be red. And I think for normal armies, we're going to be using these, like normal large armies. Okay, now that we can unpause, we can make this one of those episodes where I actually unpause in the first episode. Oh yeah, this is also a really good spot for our mountain troops. We have a lot of mountain troops. Don't know if we're going to be invading Iran at any point, so... And Turkey's probably one of the more pressing concerns, because Turkey brings us to French and UK colonial holdings. Thanks, let's see. Let's put all of these tanks in one army. Tank army. Kind of a panzer army, but I don't want to call them panzers, because obviously we're not the Germans. I have a feeling that for tactic, no tactic selected requires skill 5. Well, you could pick one, but we need to unlock them from the doctrines, which are now unlocked with experience, actually, which, by the way, I forgot. Are any of these guys green? No, but we can have these guys exercise. I don't know why we have a mountain division like down there by Finland. That being said, I don't really know where else to send them except Manchuria. Far East Theater. These guys are mechanized and tank, which is not a bad division platform. We're gonna keep them around here, I think. Far East, I'm just gonna do this for like actually, I've never done this before. I've never used abbreviations. Far East, mech. Far East and mechanized. This is basically a breakthrough unit. Put Vasilevsky, I think, in charge. Did I put... no, I haven't put Zhukov in charge of these. I want Zhukov to be a field marshal, though. Which we can then put his... I don't know if this actually impacts field marshal traits. It doesn't. This is only, yeah, background stuff. So we haven't given him Panzer, but it's good to have him leading Panzers. I don't know if these, yeah, I don't think these actually even impact the Field Marshal stuff. Like, I don't think it converts those traits down towards the generals themselves. Who do we have for Field Marshals? Tukhachevsky seems really good for this. Yep, we'll put this. First army group. Man, it feels so peaceful to be playing a game where you're not assaulted by events in the beginning. I'm so used to Kaiserreich, I swear to God. Nkvd, so are all these guys at the back Nkvd? Nope, not all of them. We could put some Nkvd stuff on the Finnish border as well. Is this a core? I think it's a core. Baltic cores. Or core. We could use this for cores. Baltic core, we'll just put a guy with infantry like this guy in charge. Do we make a... No, we put this in the Western Theater as well, I think. Just under a different field marshal, maybe. Yeah, I wanna train up a dedicated tank general. So I think Rokossovsky seems good. Ivan Konev is also really good. No, actually, Ivan Konev is the best because he's got more or less skill in training, or sorry, in planning, which planning for tanks is completely useless in my opinion. I don't use tanks as part of the overall strategic plan. I use them as units with a lot of local autonomy. I'm going to send pretty much all this cavalry out east. Because this is where they will do best. This will be the second army. Let's use numbers because then we have time to, or we have space to name them. Something evocative whenever we want to. Let's put Shaposhnikov in charge, I think. Let's have a look at our supply situation right now. We also have to use a national focus. Let's do infrastructure effort. We still haven't touched the officer core interface and stuff yet. There's so much stuff for us to look at. Yeah, our stability is not great for this stuff right now. We don't really have political power to do anything. But I wanted to look at logistics. So we still are lacking heavily in infantry equipment, which is compounded by the fact that we are training more infantry, but that's gonna get sorted over time. Don't really know what to do with all this Nkvd stuff. I mean, later on we'll have them, I guess, hold, like, do suppression work. There's just too many guns for, like, units that aren't fighting, in my opinion. Well, we could also use some to hold lines that are unimportant and not risky. Like, they could hold Finland if we're not thinking of actually fighting back. Oh yeah, we need to start thinking about this as well. Yeah, okay, this is gonna change how you fight in Finland, I think. If you look at the trains here. There's only trains going up here. We don't have any trains going down into this area in Finland, so the only way to really bring supplies up into Finland is through Karjala. Which is interesting and unfortunate for us. Good for the finish. We can put you on the same field marshal, same with you and you. How many can you have? You can have 5, right? Yep. That's the first and the second army setup. Then this is the third army. We'll call it the Far Eastern Army. And we'll put someone relatively unimportant in charge. Kuznetsov, Commando, non-combat out-of-supply penalties. That seems good for the Far East. Kuznetsov is, I don't think, relatively unimportant historically speaking, but right now he's relatively unimportant. Camouflage expert is useless in the Far East because CAS is virtually unheard of. There's no airports, essentially, unless the Japanese decide to build some, which would be mega-brained. Oh yeah, an operative can be recruited. My bad. Let's see. Has Hungarian nationality giving the following bonuses. So a British one seems good right now. He's a double agent. And an infiltrator. So this could, I think, be risky. I don't remember. Oh, yes. The German one. I think we'll recruit a German one first. Because they are the principal concern at the moment. And then, I mean, he's gonna be... Is he gonna be getting a lot of experience when he's hanging out back home? We'll go and build an intel network in Brandenburg. Oh yeah, the motorized. We should put them in their own army as well, because they also serve a very specific role in war, that like the tanks do as well. That never mind. This is not going to be a normal game. Germany embroiled in civil war. A sudden Wehrmacht coup, led by the famed Field Marshal August von Mackensen, has triggered a civil war in Germany earlier this morning. Fascists, royalists, and Democrats alike have taken up arms against their former countrymen, and military units have been removed from the borders to see to the internal threat. Turkey seizes control of the Bosphorus. Oh, heck. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk has declared that the Turkish Straits will now fall under the complete control of Turkey, thus giving the Turkish government the ability to close the straits to us at their own discretion. This is absolutely unacceptable. It means that the Turkish government has decided that they have the right to trap our own fleets in the Black Sea whenever they feel politically expedient to do so. We'll have the opportunity to de-escalate the situation should armed conflict begin to seem likely, or the farcical circus matters little to us. No, we have to keep them demilitarized, I think. I'm gonna mobilize, and I'm gonna move a lot of troops down there. And we have so much cavalry. We kind of have to make a cavalry unit. If anything, they can be good at patching up the line whenever it gets porous. This is second corps. This is the so the way I'm naming them, I'm just going to be using the icon that indicates that it's a corps. This is going to be the Anatolian Corps. And we will place an infantry expert in charge, I guess. Or not infantry expert, but one who gains more infantry experience. Berzaden. The Turkish remain defiant. Off. Even in the face of overwhelming force, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk refuses to budge on the topic of Turkish rights to the Turkish Straits. Tensions have escalated dramatically, with troops being marshaled all along the Turkish-Soviet border. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk has called the crisis a moment of destiny for Turkey and has pledged that Turkey will never surrender in the face of Soviet tyranny. Do we declare war on Turkey? No, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. Like... yeah, there's steel, there's chromium, And that chromium can be good for... Let's have a look at our trade. No, we don't need that chromium. We have enough of it. It would be good for tanks, I think, but we have enough of it. The only thing is the strategic benefit of owning Turkey is essentially giving us access to the Mediterranean and Italy, but then we would require a fleet, which we won't have. No, it's not worth total war at this time. Yep, so be it. That's fine. We're probably not going to be messing around with the Mediterranean all that much anyways.
Готов выдвигаться.
Add defense industry, which grants civilian to military factory conversion cost, not really needed, but all the other stuff is good. Growth but retention increase. Path of Marxism-Leninism is mutually exclusive with beaten but not defeated. Start the process towards the Soviet Civil War, in which the Soviet Union between the communists and the opposition in exile. I think we're not going to be doing the Civil War in this playthrough. That might be a future one. Instead, we're going to be doing this, which grants us power. Oh yeah, I forgot about this part. It grants us access to the special Stalin paranoia mechanic. Oh, I'm sorry, it's funny. Where we have to purge generals and members of our cabinet to keep Stalin from freaking out. Anyways, we're past 30 minutes, so I want to say thank you so much for watching, and if you have any comments, tips, ideas, etc., please send them my way. I read all of your comments, so I want to say thank you so much again, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, it helps out a great deal. If you are interested in seeing my live content, you can find it on Twitch in the link below. You can find my Patreon, which I encourage you not to subscribe to because I neglect my patrons. And you can find the Discord, where we hang out and discuss Hearts of Iron 4, politics, history, and all kinds of other stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.